Hey everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm making a traditional fermented drink called Tepache. All you need is pineapple, brown sugar, and water. It's natural fizzy, slightly tangy, and packed with probiotics. So first you're going to start by washing your pineapple, and then we're going to cut the peel off of the pineapple. That is what we're going to use to make this drink. So yeah, you don't even have to throw the peel away. Just keep it and make this drink. The good bacteria and the yeast, they live on the peel. So the yeast and the bacteria from the peel will kickstart the fermentation process. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the peels off the pineapple. All you really need for the drink is the peel and the core. You can add the pineapple flesh in there if you want to, but I just save to eat for later. So instead of just immediately throwing your pineapple peels away, you can save them and make this drink. So this process is actually called wild fermentation. So what happens during this process is the yeast and the bacteria are going to feed off the sugar, and in return it creates lactic acid and carbon dioxide, which makes the drink tangy and gives it that bubbly. So we have our peels in the jar, and now I'm just cutting up the flesh so I can get to the core. I'm going to put the core in there as well. I'm going to save the pineapple flesh for later. You actually can put the pineapple flesh in the drink too if you want to. It'll make it sweeter, plus give the yeast and bacteria a little bit more sugar to eat off of if you don't add a lot of sugar yourself. And I don't think I stated this in the beginning, but I am using 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use a half a cup to 1 cup. It really just depends on your taste preference. But throughout the fermentation process, you do want to taste it each day just to see where you're at in the fermentation process, because you don't want it to get vinegary. Okay, so I got my pineapple all cut up ready for later. Now I'm just going to throw the core in here with all the peels, and then we're good to go. So the next thing you want to do is you want to fill your jar with water. You want to use non-chlorinated water because the chlorine in the water can slow down fermentation. So the next thing I'm going to do is add 1 cup of brown sugar. The sugar is the food source for the natural bacteria and yeast. They'll consume the sugar as their food, and then in return they'll produce carbon dioxide and lactic acid, all the stuff that makes those good bubbles and tangy flavor. All right, so once we get the sugar in, we are going to just stir it a little bit just to make sure, we got everything all good and submerged in there and mixed well. So the next thing you're going to do after this, after you get everything all mixed up, is you're going to get a cloth or a paper towel, just something breathable. You want to cover the jar. You want it to be you want airflow to be able to get through the jar, but you don't want any dust coming in. So now you're going to let it sit for 2 to 3 days and let it ferment. After about 2 days at room temperature, you'll start to see bubbles forming. That's a sign of active fermentation. The yeast is alive and thriving and creating carbonation naturally. Fermentation time also depends on how cool or warm your environment is. Cooler, then it will take longer, and if it's hotter, it might take less than 2 days. So at this point, you want to taste it and see how it tastes. If it's still a little too sweet for you, you can let it ferment longer. But if it's just right, you can go ahead and strain it. Now, I made this drink plenty of times to, know okay, this is how much time it takes when I, put this much sugar in, or when it's this temperature. So I'm just going to go ahead and strain and bottle it up. So once you strain out the peels, you want to pour the liquid into a clean bottle. I like to use flip top bottles because they help build up carbonation for a little bit more natural fizz. Now, if you tasted it and it's still too sweet for you, you can actually go ahead and still strain the peels and the core and just let it ferment in the flip top bottle a little bit longer. Now, you do need to make sure you're popping the flip top bottle if you do it that way, but that is an option as well. So once you got it all bottled up and it is the taste that you desire, you can go ahead and pop it in the fridge and let it chill for a day, and then you're ready. And that's it. That's how you make pineapple tepache. So don't throw the peels away. Save the peels. Make this probiotic drink. Your gut will thank you for it. So if you've made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you for watching. And I hope you give this drink a try. And if you do, let me know in the comment how it goes.